everyone, this is another Outdoorsman 1 video. My name's Brandon. Here's the truck. It's been a while since I posted anything about the truck specifically. I know I posted a video about when I put the Raptor grill on the truck, which is still looking mighty fine. But today what we're going to do is we're going to do kind of a walk and talk. We're going to walk around the rig. We're going to talk about how it came stock, and we're going to look at the things that have been done to it in the recent history of the rig, I guess we could say. So just so you guys know, this is a 2012 F150 XLT Super Cab in the Ford lingo. So the Super Cab is obviously the extended cab with the suicide folding doors. So I'll kind of get into why I love that and why. So pretty much what we're going to do with these walk and talks is when I talk about the rig, the truck, or anybody's vehicle or whatnot, I'm going to start at the front, I'm going to go to the back, talk about everything between the front and the back. So starting off here, we've got the Raptor grill on the front. This is just one of those aftermarket buys. You can go watch, I'll link the video in the description. You can watch the installation of the Raptor grill if you so choose to put one of these on here. I am kind of going for the SVT Raptor Shelby Baja kind of look on the truck, so I'm not sure if I'm going to actually stay with this grill or if I'm going to go to the SVT style where it's the flat lettering inside the grill. But for right now, I love this. It looks a lot better than the stock one. I get a lot more airflow through to the engine. I can feel a little bit more power, honestly. And then I've never seen my temperature gauge go above half, so that's definitely a good thing, even living in Utah and traveling in Nevada and California. I still haven't seen that temperature gauge go past the medium temperature mark, so that's really good. I've got a 15-inch light bar down here, as you can see, mounted there. That's not a permanent addition. These light bars that are currently on the vehicle are the cheapest of the cheap. They're on there just because I needed light for the trips that I was going on, and I didn't want to dish out the money because I was doing cross-country trips and whatnot. But now I am looking at the Baja lighting systems. I love their lights, and hopefully some of them will be showing up here on the rig soon. Obviously, having the light bar placed there on the front, I did have to move the license plate over to the bumper, the plastic parts on the bumper, which isn't really a big concern in my book. This bumper will be going away soon. I just haven't decided on which bumper I want. I haven't decided whether I want a full wedge style or I want a wedge with kind of the bull bar, or if I want a pre-runner style kind of Baja deal, the tubular with a massive skid plate. Go ahead, let me know what you think in the comments below, what you think I should do. I do intend on lifting this and putting much larger tires on it, but I figured that the first step would be to put the bumper on, being that when I have the bumper put on there, it's going to allow me better thresholds for tires, and then I can decide better what tires I want to put on there, whether they be mud tires or if they just be K2Os or Falcon Wild Peaks, for example. Currently I'm running the tires that I got, which are the tires that I got when I purchased the vehicle, which are just Goodyear Wranglers. These guys are pretty aggressive for all-terrain tires. I love them. I've never once gotten stuck. There's never once been anything that I haven't been able to handle with this. Obviously, if you were going hardcore mudding or whatnot. I just got back from Moab, so if you see the truck being a little red, that's why. But then moving up a little bit more on the hood, we've got these ditch lights. Now, these ditch lights are Amazon purchases. Honestly, the reason that I purchased these specific ditch lights is because the brackets for these F150s for ditch lights are extremely expensive, and I haven't been able to find ones that I liked. And so I finally found these, and they came with lights, and so I figured, well, you know, I will be going to more expensive lighting systems later, but I definitely do think that mounting them on this bracket would be pretty cool. Okay, so here on the right side of the vehicle, you can see the other ditch lights. I still have not yet purchased a smaller antenna, but that'll definitely be one of those Amazon purchases that, there goes an RX-7 thinking he's cool. But these are decently bright. They do throw pretty good. I would say that they throw all the way over to where that white RAV4 is. They've got a pretty decent throw. I have them pointed off to the side because I do have that center light bar, which throws pretty good. That's a Walmart purchase. Honestly, for all of the cheap light bars that you can buy for under $100, in my experience of buying all of these cheap ones, the Walmart brand, I think it's Auto Enhanced or something like that, I'll put a link in the description, is honestly some of the better cheap lighting systems that I have encountered. That's the same brand of one that I have on my Jeep, and the one down there has been on my truck for a week after I bought the truck, so about 8 months, and there's not even a hint of fog, and it's been all winter long, so there's not even any fog in there. Goals with this: go to the Baja S2s with the flood capability, and then angle them out more towards the ditch. That's obviously what I'm going to be using these for, and then, you know, that's why I just haven't cut these bolts, because there's no sense in cutting them if I'm going to resell them or give them to someone or something like that. If you look up here, I've got a light bar bracket for the truck. I'll insert a picture right here. So that picture was of when I did have a 52-inch curved light bar. Somebody's hiking down this trail. I did have a 52-inch curved light bar up there. I just wasn't sold on it, and the reason why the brackets are there but the light bar isn't is because I returned the light bar because I just wasn't sold on it. It was another Amazon purchase, so with Prime I just returned it, so I wasn't too worried about it. I bought it knowing that it was going to be cheap. I didn't care about the quality. I just bought it wanting to know how it looked. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think that I should put it back up there, or should I not? I haven't decided because I haven't really decided what I want my truck to look like yet. Like I said, I'm going to hopefully be putting a pre-runner or a full wedge up here on the front, and that's drastically going to change the look of the truck. So I don't know if I'm going to have, you know, a 30-inch single row light bar in my grill, then why do I need one up on the top that whistles and makes a lot of noise? In my opinion, I don't. So I'm leaving the bracket up there for now. I have yet to decide what's going on in that regards. So now we're going to take a look at the inside of the truck, show you some of the wiring and my light setup. Okay, so here we go, guys. If you're looking at the truck, what you're noticing is that the doors open backwards on this side. It's the same thing on the other side. I just didn't open it because I didn't really feel the need. So I love this because it gives me a little bit of wind protection. I can open both doors and vacate everything that I need to from the back seat, whether that be persons or whether that be gear, because, you know, inside the truck is waterproof relatively, so if it's raining you can store your gear inside and you're not going to have to worry about tarping it and stuff like that. So the back of F150s have a lot of space. This is a crew cab, super cab in the Ford lingo. It's a 6-seater. I've comfortably sat 6 people in here. Now I don't know if I necessarily would because I have my CB radio there in the center, but this guy flips up and turns into a seat itself. Here's my jacket and my arm brace. I'll kind of get into in a separate video why my hand's wrapped up and why I haven't made any videos in a long time, so stay tuned for that if you're interested in anything medical. But we're looking around here. I've got my Husky bag. This is just with general tools and whatnot. I've got a ammunition crate here. This is where I store my Ear Pro, a couple extra magazines, and magazine holsters, and a holster. This is just my food container. This normally stays in the bed, but for right now it's been raining the last couple days, so it's in here. And then that's my pots and pans tray. So I saw at Walmart they have, you know, some crates that are waterproof, and I'll kind of get into that later about what might be transpiring in the bed of the truck. But for right now, these guys are just in there because I haven't taken them upstairs. So you can see all the red dirt and whatever's. But I've got Realtree seat covers. I do a lot of work out of my truck, and I come home from work pretty dirty every day because I work in a machine shop. So these are excellent. They're decently water resistant. They're stain resistant. They wash really nice, and they're super comfortable. So I don't really care if you're gonna say what you're gonna say about having camo seat covers. That's on you. I really don't care. So moving up kind of more towards the center console here, I'm gonna get inside, and you might see something that looks kind of interesting there. But starting at the bottom, we're just going to talk about all of the non-stock features here. We've got my CB radio, which is mounted inside that little coin tray. Honestly, that coin tray is so awkwardly placed that I would never use it. I honestly, my phone wouldn't even fit in there, and I have a Galaxy S8 Plus. So there's no purpose of it. This headrest right here, which is non-removable, kind of gets in the way of that being usable at all, and that's just quite annoying to me. So I got my CB radio. It's just a Cobra standard CB radio. The antenna is mounted to the roof currently until I get a better mounting place. Here's another Amazon purchase. This is your just a dual USB plug-in. It's all wired in the same circuit board that I have my lights switch relay wired into, so this won't turn on if the vehicle is not or if the key is not in the ignition. I'll get into that also in another video, but this is all stock. Coming up to the top here, I've got a 6-switch combo. I don't have the wall on the box on this side just because I haven't wired everything into it yet. So the LED work lights right here, this is my these are my ditch lights. LED light bar is obviously the light bar. Windshield light bar is wired, but there's nothing wired to it currently, like I just previously explained. Off-road lights, those are the underglow that I have, or the rock lights, if whatever you want to call them. And then rear lights are obviously the rear lights, and then the zombie lights are the lights off the sides. So I only have one switch that is open. The switches are removable. You can put whatever switches you want. I think the switchboard was, and then in the center it's a voltmeter, which is pretty darn accurate according to my voltmeter. Some people say it's not accurate. I have found it to be accurate according to my voltmeter, so that's fine by me. That's about it inside the cab. Like most people, I love black ice, little trees, but that's about it. So we're gonna get outside. I store my jumper cables in there, and I store water bottles in the other side. Got a machete under there. These guys drop down real nice. If I had a hand that worked. And so that's the inside of the cab. I love this cab setup, and hopefully I can make it a little bit more clean like I was explaining. So what we've got here, we've got Repro Maxtrax. I honestly just couldn't come to grips with buying and purchasing real Maxtrax. I don't get stuck often enough to warrant it, and because of the fact that I don't get stuck enough to warrant Maxtrax, I didn't think that buying 2 pieces of semi-flexible plastic for $300 and some odd made sense. So I bought these in the color that I wanted, which is this kind of olive drab army green. If you kind of have that white to give it a reference. I built a bracket for them out of these, I believe they're 3/4 inch bolts on my RCI bed rack. So we're going to kind of get into that now. So what is the reason for my truck? My truck is an overlanding truck. Obviously that is pretty obvious. So now we're going to move on to the bed section. There's a couple big ticket items on here which make it the overlanding rig that it is and makes it so noticeable. One of those being the RCI bed rack, and 2, the Smittybuilt rooftop tent. Now Smittybuilt and tuffstuff, honestly I've seen them both. They're the exact same thing, just with different branding on them. If somebody would like to argue that point and prove me otherwise, I would really like to know what the difference is between a tuffstuff rooftop tent and a Smittybuilt rooftop tent. I've had that Smittybuilt rooftop tent up there for about 8 months, I'd say 7, and I've had the rack for the exact same amount of time, obviously. The bed rack is awesome, I love it. The only inconvenience for me is that the bed rack is not the size of the bed. It's the size of the bed width-wise, but it's not lengthwise. Now, depending on your application, that could be a benefit or that could be a negative, depending on who you are and how you use your setup. I've seen some people that push this rack all the way to the forward, and some people leave it all the way back. Now that kind of depends on where you want your center of gravity, how you have your lift set up, yada yada yada, if you have a bed box. Now that's the one thing that I have considered a lot, is putting a bed box back there, because I do have about 1.5 feet on either side of play. So it kind of depends on how you want to use it. But besides the fact that I've got this much space between my tailgate and my rack, and my cab and my rack, I love this rack. It's sturdy, it's never squeaked, moaned, budged, or anything. RCI makes a good rack. What I'm actually going to do is tomorrow I'm going to be calling them and seeing if they can make me these struts that are 6.5 foot long, like my bed. So this is a 6.5 foot bed truck, and they make this rack only in one length. They don't make it in a different, or they make it in a different width for your Tacomas and your Tundras and your F150s and your F250s and your F350s, but it would fit a Raptor, or it would fit a 5.5 foot bed the way the rack sits. Now I can't really complain, because you see that the rooftop tent fits perfectly on there, but I do want a little bit more rack so that I could mount more things to it, i.e. roto packs and a couple other items that will be announced soon. So you can see my wiring's all super wiggly whack right here. That's because I was working on this whole wiring setup the week that my hand got crushed, and so I just haven't used these lights. So I'm gonna have to redo all of this, because I wired everything to the bed here. I'm gonna stick you through out of this tube, so everything's nice and covered and in waterproof electrical housings up until right there, and then it just kind of goes to hell. But we'll figure that out when it becomes more easily accessible by me. So right here we've got our just a normal high lift jack. This is the 50 something inch. I don't remember the exact dimensions of it, but I will link it in the bio if you are interested. I've got a high lift Lock-Rac on here, which has just kind of this wing nut design, and then it's got a hole through it with this padlock. This padlock probably could stop toddlers, but hey, it looks deterring, right? So that's a pretty easy system. You just undo that wing nut. This part is hinged, it lifts right up. This will be supported still on that nut, or my bad, that bolt, so it's not going to fall off the second that you lift that up, and you can do it one-manned. And then back here you've got that little piece of metal that goes through the hole, so you can do it on either side just because there's holes on either side. I've got this carabiner here because when I go hiking, I hang my backpack right there off of the side of my truck, and then I don't have to open my tailgate or anything. So these things are awesome. I love them. You can do 1.5 knots with them. So just kind of hangs right there, and then I can hang my backpack off the side. These are, again, your dime a dozen Amazon purchases. They put out a lot of light and illuminate the whole ground, so that the general idea behind that was that I would be able to find a parking spot at night, because I work a full-time 9-to-5 job. So the majority of the camping that I do is Friday night, Saturday, Sunday. So the idea was that I could leave work on Friday and be ready to go camping when I leave work, find a place at night, flip on all my lights, and be able to open my tent up. If it was easier for me to do one-handed, honestly, I can do it one-handed. When I was in Moab, I did it one-handed. But if it was easier, I would have opened the tent, but I'm kind of on a time crunch right now, so you're just gonna have to take my word on it that it's cool. And here are some pictures. So now that you have seen what the tent looks like open, kind of want to talk about the other side and the back. So this side, we've got our Repro Maxtrax that I was kind of talking about earlier. I just couldn't come to it to bite the bullet on real Maxtrax, being that I don't get stuck very often. So the only complaint that I have compared to real Maxtrax is the fact that they don't stack so low profile. But I've got a gun lock padlock running through them here. I've got my wing nut and my wing nut that keep them retained. The only reason why I have cornhole in here is because I'm going to play cornhole with some friends here in about an hour. So those aren't really permanent additions, nor are the lawn chairs. So the cornhole and the lawn chairs don't live in the bed of my truck. They're just there right now because I'm going to play some games with some friends here in about an hour. But on the back, I've just got a couple cheap lights that are my current cheap lights. Drop in the bed. The last little portion is going to be inside the bed here. I kind of have everything pulled forward just for the sake of this video, but I do have these magnets. These are kitchen knife magnets from Home Depot. Don't stick them together or they'll never come apart. They're really awesome for putting like toilet paper rolls or paper towel rolls off the side of your truck. They are going to be mounted eventually so that I can put knives and whatnot and attach them to it. But in that Rubbermaid container is where I keep the majority of my stuff. It's locked to the bed, but that's where, like I was talking about earlier, there are some of these much larger ones at Walmart for about $44 that I'm quite interested in. So just like on the other side, I have these lights on either side, and with that I can turn them on and I can see pretty much in every direction. So here are a couple pictures in kind of a slideshow of the lights all being on. So that being said, guys, this is kind of the rig for right now. Like I said, I've got my CB antenna up on the top. That's my rig as of right now. It's nothing terribly special. It's kind of just my personal take on an overlanding rig on a budget, because I've been saving money for tires, lift, and bumpers and body armor underneath and whatnot, the full treatment. So hopefully here in a short amount of time, a lot of things are going to be manifesting and a lot of cool things are going to be happening. But as of right now, no major body work. The only big ticket items are the tent and the rack. And then I put a lot of work into the light system. But hopefully there will be a little bit more permanent switch relay, and as well the I will decide if I'm keeping the 52-inch light bar or not. But guys, let me know what you think. Give me some ideas. This is my 2012 F150 XLT Super Cab with the 6.5 foot bed, 5-liter Coyote engine, Overland rig as of currently. So thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully this has given some ideas to some people on how to overland kind of on a budget, because like I said, the only expensive things that I put on this are the rack and the tent. So, and the truck still looks pretty cool, I think. So guys, thanks for watching. This has been another Outdoorsman 1 video, and I'm out.